Hello everyone, we are the Society of Physics students from the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. For Neutrino Day 2020, we are here to show you how to make liquid nitrogen ice cream. Our volunteers for today are John Barber and Zachary Basham. And since we can't really hear through the quarantine masks, I'm Mike Dowding. I'm going to be the narrator for today. So we're going to talk a little bit about the science behind liquid nitrogen, and then we'll get into the recipe for the liquid nitrogen ice cream. So as you probably know, liquid nitrogen is very cold. The boiling point is 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Compare that to dry ice, which is only about 100 degrees below zero. Liquid nitrogen is much colder. And a lot of people at first are kind of confused at how something that's a solid can actually be warmer than a liquid, but that has everything to do with the composition of the materials. Liquid nitrogen is nitrogen, but dry ice is actually solid carbon dioxide, which is toxic, so you don't want to inhale that. Liquid nitrogen is actually drawn from the air, which is made up of approximately 78% nitrogen. It is a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas. And given that it makes up 80% of the air, we are primarily breathing nitrogen all the time. Another 21% is oxygen, and that's what keeps us alive. The remaining portions of the air are argon, which is a noble gas. As such, it doesn't really react with anything. And then we have trace amounts of other gases, one of which is carbon dioxide, which, as we said before, is toxic, but it's at such a low level that it doesn't really affect us. And nitrogen gas is also fairly inert. It does not react with many things. And you might be surprised to know that nitrogen is used in a lot of food packaging to keep things like chips and pasta from going stale when they react with oxygen in the air. Now, even though nitrogen is inert, it is not toxic. If we spill some of this liquid nitrogen, it will immediately flash boil. It needs to make room for itself in the atmosphere, and that means it will push all of the oxygen in the immediate area away. And so it does pose a little bit of an asphyxiation danger, but we're in a fairly large room with the window open. We have lots of ventilation, but we're not going to be using that much liquid nitrogen anyways. Now, we actually have two recipes for our liquid nitrogen ice cream. The first, we're going to do a traditional recipe of vanilla ice cream, but then we were challenged to find a recipe for a non-dairy option, which, as it turns out, is also going to be a vegan option. And for this round, John is going to be our mixer. Zach is going to be our ingredients person. So Zach, if you could grab us a mixing bowl right behind you. And the ingredients are fairly straightforward. We have milk, heavy whipping cream, sugar, and some vanilla extract. We're going to mix these together in a bowl until we get a fairly consistent mixture, and then add the liquid nitrogen, which we have in this little drink cooler here. So Zach, we're going to need equal parts of milk and heavy whipping cream. And actually, let's start with the whipping cream. We'll just use all of that. And as Zach is putting this into the bowl, the heavy whipping cream has a fat content of about 36%. So a lot of fat in there. That's why it's going to taste so good. The whole milk has a fat content of about 3.5%. And so by mixing together equal portions, the overall fat content should be how much, John?
I wasn't listening to the science. I wasn't either, but I had an excuse.
Okay, well,
Oh, I was watching you.
36% plus 4% averages out
40%.
to
Oh, 20%.
20%. There we go. All right, so we've got equal portions, milk and heavy whipping cream. So this is a 20% fat mixture. As John is mixing, Zach is going to measure out 3/4 cup of sugar to add to the milk and cream mixture. Now, if you want, you can substitute the milk and the cream for straight up half and half, which has a fat content of about 18%. So it's going to be pretty close to what we have for this mixture here. Now, Zach is going to add the sugar to this mixture, and we're going to have to stir it for a bit. So we're going to cut away until all of the sugar has been dissolved. To speed up the process, you can heat the mixture. You just want to make sure that you don't boil it, otherwise the cream can coagulate and separate. We don't want that to happen. But the reason we're not going to heat this up is because we're just going to have to turn around and use the liquid nitrogen to freeze it. And it's going to take a lot more liquid nitrogen to freeze if this mixture is hot. So we're going to let John stir that up for a few minutes, and we'll be right back. We are back, and John has been mixing for about 3 minutes here to dissolve the sugar. Zach is going to add the vanilla. We need about 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract added to the mixture. And John, if you want to give that a quick mix, we will then be ready for the liquid nitrogen.
Do you need us to like take some of it out?
No. All right, so we're really close. Maybe just a splash more of the liquid nitrogen. And we have ourselves some homemade ice cream made in less than about 5 minutes. This would probably take a half an hour or more if you were using an ice cream machine at home. And John, if you can scoop up a nice bit of ice cream to show us. Oh yes, that looks very delicious. So let's take that with our ice cream scooper. We'll make ourselves some ice cream cones, and the guys from IT have graciously volunteered to help sample the ice cream that we've made. So we'll be right back with the IT guys. We have our ice cream made, and we have our volunteers. Some of the guys from the IT department are gonna try our liquid nitrogen ice cream. So John, if you wanna scoop up a couple of scoops, and if you wanna go ahead and grab your own cone there, maintaining social distancing as we do so. There we go. Oh. Oh, there's enough. You can give him another scoop. Come on.
There we go.
Okay. And then if you guys want to try it, since you made it, if you want to scoop some up for yourselves. All right, now this isn't going to work with the masks, so you want to social distance a little bit, and then tell us how it is. Was there enough sugar?
It's really good.
Does it need more sugar?
I like it.
Okay.
Vanilla.
Yep, vanilla. Okay.
Very good.
All right. So that's the traditional recipe. Would you like to come back and try the non-dairy vegan option in about 10 minutes? Just for comparison, we'll see which one is better.
Dang, this is real good.
Hi.
So good.
How is it, John?
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. All right, we are back, and We are filled with sugar from the last round of the ice cream. And now we're gonna try the dairy-free vegan option with the Silk products. So again, we're going to add equal parts of the heavy whipping cream. And we have some vanilla soy milk here. Since I knew we were going to be making vanilla ice cream, we might as well go with the flavored milk, but then we're still going to add some vanilla extract to the system. And so we'll just put all of that into the bowl. And wow, that stuff is really thick and goopy. I was not expecting that. And so we will add to that equal portion of the Silk milk, and Zach is going to be the stirring half of our group, if you want to go ahead and get stirring there. And we'll just have to eyeball about the same amount of the Silk milk. And you can just pour that directly into the bowl as well. Yep, that looks about right. And 3/4 of a cup of sugar will be added to that. And as John is measuring out the sugar, I'll help out and add a little bit of the vanilla extract. And then we're going to cut away so that we can mix this for about 3 minutes, get all of that sugar dissolved. And then we'll come back and add the magic ingredient, which, as we know, is the liquid nitrogen. The dairy-free option looks like the sugar actually dissolved quicker. So John is now going to add about a cup at a time as Zach mixes the batter. And we'll keep mixing this until we get to the proper consistency. Now the fats involved with this are coconut oil and sunflower seed oil. So these are different fats from what you would find in milk, obviously. So I'm not quite sure exactly what the consistency is going to be, but so far it's looking pretty similar. Still looking pretty liquidy. So more liquid nitrogen. And you can also use this method to make sherbets with fruit juices, but just a warning, without the fat content, everything is going to freeze up a lot quicker. And so you really need to be mixing at a fairly high rate. A power mixer might be a good idea, but in adding the liquid nitrogen to a power mixer, you have to be careful that you don't end up breaking any of the parts. And just a little bit more and we should be there. Is that about the right consistency? Feel about right? All right. Well, time to go get the IT guys and see how round 2 comes out. The IT guys are back, and we're gonna try the dairy-free vegan option. So if you gentlemen want to come up and grab another cone, Zach will dish up for you. Oh. There we go. And this is our first time ever trying this recipe. So maybe just 1 scoop for now until we know if we like it or not. And Zach and John, if you want to scoop yourselves up some. Let's see the reaction. Thinking about it, not bad?
Yeah. It's kind of like a sorbet.
Sorbet? Okay.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
It's awesome. It's very different, but it's very good.
Oh. Thanks, John.
No problem.
Wow, I'm surprised. It's actually like a smoother consistency than the regular ice cream. It's very good. Let's see what John thinks.
It's good. I approve.
You approve. Okay.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 out of 10 would recommend. What's better overall? This or the traditional ice cream? Would you know any different if we served this to you?
Store-bought, you notice it's a lot more creamier though.
A lot more creamy?
Yeah, I like
Okay.
it. A lot more creamy.
Okay. Oh. I can see it's not stopping you.
No,
Okay. We promised Zach we'd use the leftover liquid nitrogen on some iced coffee mixture, so we're gonna try a little bit of that and see if we can make an iced coffee ice cream cone, because we got 1 cone left, and I don't think Zach has had enough sugar yet today, so we'll give that a try. So here we have some iced coffee, which is becoming even more iced. Does not have the fat content that the other mixtures had, so this might not come out very well. We might have to mix it with some of the other batch, but I'll leave that up to Zach. Maybe he just wants a super iced coffee.
It's kind of working. You know what? It's a slushy.
It's a slushy?
It's a slushy.
Okay.
We might mix it.
Are you gonna try it? There you go.
I don't know, it's very interesting.
Is it good?
Yes.
Is it okay?
It's like a coffee popsicle, but in chunks.
Would you recommend using this as the milk base along with cream
Yes.
to make a coffee ice cream?
Yes, that'd be very good.
We could do that. Okay. So we've got some leftover of the, well, it was dairy-free, but the iced coffee has some creamer in it, so it's no longer dairy-free, but Zach wants to make a coffee ice cream. And we're gonna need some more liquid nitrogen to set this up.
You're an expert.
This just goes to show you can put whatever you want inside your ice cream. If you want to put in fruit juice. I'd probably wait until you're done mixing, until you put in any solid items like candy or blueberries or anything like that, because then they're just going to fall apart during the mixing process. But that looks pretty solid. If you want to go ahead and scoop yourself up some vanilla bean coffee ice cream.
Previously vegan.
It was previously.
His third cone in 10 minutes.
It is very interesting. I kind of like it. It's good.
That's all that
I've
matters.
also never tasted anything like this.
It's good. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.